What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast.
If you want to be successful, look inside.
We don't like sitting in the discomfort.
Then all of a sudden that day came when I got $20 and 2 free drinks to do a show, and I was like, oh shit, here we go, baby. You know?
Thank God she hasn't caught a chicken yet because she'll tear her head off.
Don't be soft.
That patience is key.
If all my friends are winning, then it's going to make me want to win more.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast. Today we have a very special guest all the way in Atlanta. He's an NFL athlete. He has an ongoing project called Simmons. He's here to also help raise money for children with diabetes. Guys, this guy's a tremendous dude. Please help us welcome the one and only Simmons. What is up, dude?
What's up? Thank y'all for having me.
Hell yeah, man. How you been?
Been good, man. Just chilling, training, trying to get right for the season.
Well, I know you just told us you crushed a workout apparently before the podcast. How about you tell us a little bit about that workout? How'd that go?
Yeah, it was just couple. We had one incoming rookie, one guy. He's currently a receiver, currently with Washington, and we just got with our trainer, got some footwork drills down over in Atlanta, and just trying to get some work in, before the season. No telling how the season's gonna go with COVID and everything. So just got to stay ready.
Totally hear you, man. So I know you played with Texas before, right? With the Texans?
Yeah, I was with Texans up until week 3. Got cut, so I'm now a free agent. So just waiting for a chance.
So how's that looking? How's that process? When we've had a few guys on here, but definitely love to hear from your input. How does that process look like when you guys become free agents, and kind of what's the mentality around that? How's the work ethic around that? Like, what do you guys do to really just say, you know what, we got to get ready to take this to the next level to showcase another team that we can get back in here?
Yeah. So when you get cut, it's a stressful thing at first, just because you're so used to being in a game, being around the sport and everything. And then once you get cut, you got to come kind of, I would say, self-motivated. If you really want it, you just got to stay in shape, keep eating right, doing the right things, just keeping your mind in that football mentality. So for me, I was out in Houston. I got cut week 3, and I found a couple trainers out there in Houston just to keep me in shape for the time being. That call didn't come around for me to get back on the team this season. But now with a lot of teams just picking up free agents right now, my agent's been talking to a couple teams, and we're just trying to been waiting for that chance. I got pro day next week with Georgia, so got to see how that go. Didn't have one last year, so I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, I used to be a collegiate strength conditioning coach, and pro day was always a little stressful for us on the weight room side of things, obviously trying to get you guys ready. How is it for you as an athlete, like getting ready for a pro day? A lot of people got eyes on, what the athletes are doing and what the actual numbers look like. But for you, like mentally preparing for a pro day, how do you get ready to, perform at such a high level with so many people watching you? A lot rides on that one individual day or that weekend of events. So how do you stay mentally prepared? How do you stay sharp and ready to go for each and everything that you got to accomplish? Well,
for me, I've been playing this sport since I was the age of 4. So a lot of this stuff just come natural. But for me, staying focused, I just try to zone everything out, keep myself around the right people, try to stay away from all distractions around this time. Because, you only get one chance. Luckily for me, this is my second chance around for a pro day. But really, in reality, you only get one chance, one shot. So we're going to have all 32 teams out there. So just trying to stay calm. I listen to a lot of music. That's how I stay calm. Just keep myself going,
Like? Yeah, what do you got on the playlist?
Hit us with it.
It kind of depends on the day.
Beethoven? Or
not Beethoven.
Spice Girls?
Beethoven, nah.
What's the Simmons?
Yesterday,
Simmons playlist? Come on.
All right. So yesterday I was kind of into a little bit more slow stuff. So I was listening to some R&B, probably some Drake, probably some Let's see, some J. Cole, you know, rap music that's not too fast or anything. And then I have my other days where I'm like, okay, I got to get myself going. So I might listen to some more rap music like Future, Lil Baby, Young Thug type stuff. So it really just depends on the day. So yeah.
What would be your favorite event that you like to perform during the pro day? I mean, obviously everyone knows, you know, 40-yard dash. That's like a big one that for me personally though, it's a shuttle. I really like seeing the shuttle drill. You know, I like to see how people can flip their hips and kind of turn in a short distance. I feel like that's really what football's about, and get those bursts of speed.
Sure.
So I really can tell, you know, at least personally, like how athletic someone can be really from like a shuttle drill. What's one of your favorite drills that you like to perform during those types of days?
I would say my favorite is probably the 40.
You got some straightaway speed?
Yeah, I got some straightaway speed. I grew up track athlete. So I ran the 100, 200. So 40 is probably my favorite thing. I'm becoming better at the 5, 10, 5, just being able to flip my hips and everything. That was one thing I kind of emphasized this off season to try to get better at. So 5, 10, 5 should be really good too.
Where's your 40 at?
Last year when I was able to run it, I was at 4.38. This year I'm looking to hit. Yeah, that's pretty good. So this year I'm looking to get a little bit. 4.3 flat would be great. That'd be awesome. So we're gonna see what we get.
I think you could do it. I don't know. You think you could do it?
I think so too. I think so.
Got to come hot out the blocks, but you know, with that track experience, it should be second nature for you.
So let me ask you, what is your? You said second chance pro day. So how was your? What's the mindset difference that you have to enter this pro day from the first one you entered? To walk us a little bit through that, because I know that that first one is exciting. Obviously, you're gonna always give it your best, but this is, like you said, that second chance, and I know you're gonna have to just really show up and like bring it your all. Get that 4.3 flat, do all these other crazy things. Obviously, you worked on the shuttle, so to walk us through that, like, what's the mindset to approach this pro day?
So last year, with me being in the league and already having a little bit of experience, last year my mindset coming in was do good on testing, do good. I felt like the testing was going to take me into the rest of it. But this year, having already been in the league, having some experience, my mindset is more shifted towards the routes. Of course, I'm going to do pretty well with the testing and everything. The testing is going to come, but at the end of the day, it's all about being a receiver. It's all about being able to run routes. So I put a lot of emphasis this year on getting in and out of my breaks, getting good releases with the DBs and everything. So just putting on a show of my routes would be a great thing, and just looking the ball in, getting some great catches. That would be my most important thing. Yeah.
What would you say separates, a good route runner or a great route runner from a good route runner? Because it's if you have a really good eye for football, you can tell the difference between, obviously, like the pinnacle, like the, Mosses, the Rices, like the separation there is obviously huge, but, just the difference between someone who's a good route runner and someone who's a great route runner, what do you think really separates those two categories of players?
I would say great route runners are patient but urgent. Coming off the ball, they might be a little bit more patient with their releases, but when they make that final stick, it's urgent to get to a spot. Coming out of breaks, it might be patient, it might look a little slower, but coming out, you're running to the spot you need to be. Because in the league, it's not much space. The quarterbacks are very elite. They're very great at what they do, getting the ball into tight spaces. And you're not always going to be wide open. You might have somebody on your back. So just that little bit of edge separating out the top of the routes or off your releases, I think will make you a great receiver.
Yeah, because that quarterback is just waiting for you to be on that spot.
And they can, bro, I'm telling you, they can sling it. Like I used to, I worked at Syracuse, and when I was there, I was a quarterback manager with when Ryan Nassib was there. He played for the Giants for a little bit, with the Saints for a little bit. And, man, that dude could throw the rock. It came in quick, real quick.
For sure. I was with Deshaun. So I trained with Deshaun a little bit around this time last year. And then luckily I was able to actually go to the Texans and be with Deshaun and catch some more balls from him. But it's crazy how accurate these quarterbacks are once you get to that level.
You were at Georgia. It's not like you had a terrible quarterback, but like how different is it when you're really playing with someone the level of Deshaun Watson, right? I mean, it makes a huge difference. You obviously played with some really good quarterbacks. Yeah, you obviously played with some really good quarterbacks at Georgia, but, playing with someone the level of Deshaun Watson, like, where do you really notice that difference in that level of play when you're playing with someone of such caliber?
So I played with Jake Fromm. I played with a couple of good quarterbacks at Georgia, but the difference, I would say, once you get to the league, is how much they actually study the defense, how much they actually study their game. Just put more time. There's no school. You don't have any class or anything. This is your lifestyle. This is your job. This is your career. So once you get to that professional level, it was a lot different. Just watching how much time veterans put into just studying the game, becoming a student of the game, and watching Deshaun do that, taking the time after practice and taking the time before practice just to show me a couple things. This is where I can improve my game, and this is where you can do this better. I think that was the biggest difference. Jake Fromm did a great job at doing that. I feel like he prepared very well going to the professionals doing that, but seeing Deshaun do it, it was a different monster.
How was your experience with the Texans? Obviously, he's got his own thing going on with them right now.
All right, where's this guy going? Where's Deshaun going? Where's the guess?
I don't know.
I keep hearing Jets.
I don't know.
I keep hearing Jets.
I feel like, I don't know. He might stay around. He might not, but I haven't been around the Texans organization in a couple months.
And then we had the whole Miami thing too.
How do you feel about that? Obviously getting to play with him a little bit, and being a part of the organization. You were part of it, in the facilities day to day for a while. How do you feel about that whole situation? Like, as an athlete, if you were in his shoes, how would you feel and how would you react?
This isn't the first time I got this question, but personally for me, I feel like I don't feel like you're at your best when you're not happy. So if you keep somebody around that's not happy, like I just don't feel like they'll perform at their best just because they're coming into work every day. Like, dang, I got to do this, or I got to go into this facility. You feel me? So that's just kind of my quick take on it. If you're forcing somebody to do something, they're not happy. Like, they're just not going to be at their best. So.
And you have a longer take on it, or that's all you?
No, that's really all I got. Yeah.
I gotta try to pull these strings a little bit here. I love hearing the inner workings.
I know it.
I always joke around with him because he's such a big sports fan. I'm like, listen, like you and I look at athletics very differently. And we've obviously had a couple other football players in here, and they say the same thing. Like, I look at it like a business. I don't go to an NFL game and think like, oh my God, it's so great to be at the stadium. I can't wait to watch them play. I'm like, man, I wonder what the logistics are, like getting from the hotel to the stadium. Like, when the hotel checks were, I wonder what time they're going back to their home stadium. Like all that stuff I'm thinking about, because I'm like, man, like playing back the memories of when I was at Syracuse going with the team. It's completely different when you're on that side of the experience.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. Well, I'm still in it, but even looking back, like at Georgia, I'm thinking like, what are these guys' mindset? Like riding the bus, or just little stuff like that, like you said. But
the Dolphins need to get some little holes. You never know, man.
Yeah, if they get Deshaun, maybe we get you to holler out. We got to get
receiver, man.
Hey man, if I really don't care where it is right now, as long as I get a job, man.
And I mean, obviously, with what's going on with COVID and everything in the league, they're talking about, obviously a decent amount of teams, or I guess the whole salary cap as a whole, right, kind of going down. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like as an outlook of like a free agent player with everything that's kind of going on? Obviously, teams in the NFL don't like losing money, and COVID was tough on all businesses, and football at the end of the day, the NFL is a business. So, how do you as like a free agent prepare for what probably is going to be a more drawn out free agency period?
I think it all come down to how much you love the game. Like for me, I've been, like I said, I've been around this game since I was very young. My dad and his three brothers all played football. None of them were able to make it to this professional level. So for me, just being here is my dream. So I don't really think about the money too much. Of course, it's gonna put food on the table and everything. I have a little girl, so we need some money in the house. But at the end of the day, like I just play this game out of love. I have a little brother up at Michigan. I'm just trying to set a good example for him. So.
There we go. So it's really no option. This is the option. You got to make.
This is the option.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's the mentality you're gonna bring on into that pro days. This is the only option, right? There's no
For
other
sure.
way. I love that, man. So I want to dive in a little bit about your brand, right? The Tyler Simmons brand. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and that kind of how you started that and what was the comings of that? And I also noticed on your page that, you know, I saw Vayner Sports, you know, kind of what are you guys doing with them and how is that working for you? I know that, you know, obviously Gary Vee, his brother with Vayner Sports are doing some really cool stuff and helping a lot of athletes out. So definitely would love to dive into that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but I think it was the 2018 national championship. We were able to go and play Bama in Atlanta for the national championship. And there was a very controversial play where it looked like I jumped off sides to go block a punt, but I just kind of got an early jump, but I wasn't off sides. It just was really close once you go back and look. But I was able to block the punt and they called me offside. So, but that play could have been a big turning point in the game where we could have came out on top and everything. So the fans kind of hyped it up. This whole Tyler Simmons was onside thing. I saw it literally everywhere. I heard it literally everywhere. There were fraternities and sororities around Georgia with buttons that said it and everything.
Wow.
So come my birthday this year, a couple of my friends came up to Houston and they were telling me like, bro, you should start making some merchandise. And, you know, you make some money off of it. Like a lot of people have been making T-shirts and stuff, but you haven't made any money off of it. So I kind of took that and ran. Came national championship this year with Bama and what they play, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I posted on Twitter during the game. Somebody commented, Tyler Simmons on side, and I commented back, merchandise coming soon. And that kind of blew up. Everybody was like, I want a T-shirt, I want a T-shirt. And so kind of took that and ran. I found I went on Shopify, found a drop shipper, and just set up the site from there. But what I did with it was I was really close with an organization in Athens, Georgia, where I went to school. That's called ESP, and it's Extra Special People. And it's like a camp kind of for kids with disabilities. They're able to go there in the afternoons, in the mornings, whatever the case may be, and just be around kids like them, you know, and they make them feel whole, make them feel normal in a enclosed space. So I helped out with they came out to like Bulldogs and Buddies. So they'll come out to a practice and we talk to them, we sign autographs, whatever the case may be. And then I helped out 3 years in a row at their big pageant. And what I do, I escort the kids out. They might have a talent show. I escort them out to the stage. We all dress up in tuxes. So it's real nice. So what I wanted to do, I gave back. I said for every $20, $25 made, I will give $1 back to ESP. So far we started this about a little over a month ago. And so far we've done like $2,000. So like roughly 500 is going back to ESP.
That's
so
incredible.
I'm putting that, and just be able to give back. And
what's the link? Do you know what the link is? So
What's
people can people can go out and buy those shirts and even donate.
Yeah.
You know, is there a link for them to donate?
TSWO.shop. Or you can just go to, if you type in Extra Special People Athens and go to their website, they have a link up in the right corner where you can just give if you don't want to buy any products, you just want to give to them.
Awesome. We'll make sure to put it in the description.
Yeah, guys, take a second right now and just go into that link and just let's show this man some love and let's show love to these kids, because that's a really amazing thing that you're doing right there, tied in with your personal brand. I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And where does that, like, how you were talking about, you know, it makes a big impact in these kids' lives. Like, where does this money go? I think it's always great when people can hear about like what benefit their money actually goes towards these kids.
For sure. So they do a lot of things. They go on field trips. They go one of the field trips is, like I said, to Bulldogs and Buddies. It's about 30 minutes away. They can all ride the bus to the Georgia practice. They do, like I said, the big pageant that's done in a big theater in Athens, where all the kids, they decorate the whole theater, whatever the theme is. Like one year we had a baseball theme, and they let the kids dress up and do stuff. They have summer camps. They do a whole bunch of stuff. The camps are the biggest thing, and they have something right now that they're working on. I do not remember exactly what it is, but it just really goes to them and lets them do, things that we had a chance to do that they didn't. So it's all about allowing them to feel normal in that environment. So
that's amazing.
A lot of them have disabilities as far as like Down syndrome and stuff like that. So, just us as Bulldogs spending time with them, it went a long way for them. They're big Bulldogs fans.
Just that little contribution goes a long way. Especially for these kids.
And they love going to they love going to practices. We used to do something similar at Syracuse, and like when the kids would come, just like interacting with the players, with the coaches, even with the staff. Like the a couple of them were pretty routine members that would come to practice, and they would always joke around with like us on the student like the student member side and with like the GAs and stuff, and we would always go back and forth with them. It was always so fun, and they always had an amazing time. So tremendous to hear that you're able to, give back in such a way to the community that really you probably grew up in.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised too. Like I remember I did this thing and I was talking to one of these kids at an event. You'd be surprised how much they actually know about the sport. Like,
they are upset, bro. They're
I'm
obsessed.
like, oh shit. I'm like, numbers, everything. I'm like, whoa.
I'm like, I'm at the games. I'm like on the sideline and I don't know as much information as you do. Like,
exactly. They know all your stats. They'll know every starter. They'll know even past the starters. They'll know second, third string. So it's always good to have them around, and it kind of give you like a reason to do what you're doing. Yeah. These kids, they can't do what we do, but just they're kind of living through us, so.
Mm-hmm. And where do you see this evolving into? Obviously, you're doing tremendous things now, but I'm sure that you want to continue for it to evolve. So where do you really see this going? Do you want to like start your own foundation eventually?
Yeah, so eventually I do want to start my own foundation. I haven't talked to ESP about it, so y'all are like kind of the first people to hear about it. But eventually, if possible, ESP is only in Athens right now. So I would like to, once the funds get there, get another one in Atlanta.
Don't forget about Miami.
Eventually it could be everywhere. So, a lot of kids with disabilities in Atlanta that would love to have this same opportunity to probably team up with a team like Georgia Tech or Georgia State, somewhere in that area, and be able to have the same opportunities. Because I know the kids in Athens, they love doing what they're doing. They have a big organization. Everybody in Athens knows who they are. So just to have something like that in a couple of different cities would be great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And on the other side of things, I want to ask you, when did you really start working with Vayner Sports? Was it when the whole situation happened at Georgia with the Alabama game, with the whole offside thing and that kind of caught traction, the hype and all that stuff, and then tweets and all that stuff? Gary's in the whole social media world. So was it really that sparked them to want to do something with you, capitalize on your brand, or was it more working with what you're trying to do with the kids that really pushed you to work with them? So
coming out of Georgia, coming out my senior year, I needed an agent. Vayner Sports, my agent, Brian McLaughlin, he hit me up preseason, trying to just see where my head was as far as finding an agent. My whole senior year, I backed off the agency process, just kind of focusing on the team, focusing on the season. So once the end of the season came around, Brian was one of the few agents that was still had a lot of interest. Went up to New York, was able to see Vayner Sports, Vayner Media, the whole office and everything. Everything was real nice. And just having the time. I haven't got a chance to sit down and talk to Gary face to face, but we've talked over Zoom, over FaceTime type thing, him and his brother.
Is he as intense in the way he is in a phone call as he is in social media? Is he completely how is that?
Nah, he's not completely different. He's pretty he's a pretty
even keel?
Yeah, even keel, but
one of my boys works with him in New York and loves it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy. He's just really blunt. He's really blunt. He's gonna say what he feels, what's on his mind. So, I mean, but I feel like that's needed in a lot of places.
I got a pretty hot question for you. Did they or any other agency ever, just like slide you, an envelope full of cash on the table? Be like, yo, I think you need to, come with us.
Nah.
Are you sure?
It happens. No, I'm positive.
Are you
sure? It happens.
Maybe not an envelope. What about like a book with like some hundreds in it?
Nah.
Or they like gave you like one of those like drug dealer handshakes? Like, yo, what's up, man?
My boy Josh is trying to get you off sides again, man. Be careful.
No.
But
once I got my signing bonus, that's when I got some money.
There you go. So how does that whole process work? Because we do like you really only hear about like agents and like how they end up working with players when they're doing illegal shit, like sliding them cash under the table or like buying them cars. So how does the legal process work of like signing with an agency or like how do you decide who might be best for you to work with?
So legally, you can't sign with an agent until you're declared. Like you're once you sign with an agent, you should be done with college. Like you can't go back. If you sign with them at the beginning of your senior season, like you're disqualified for your senior season.
Really?
If found out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So because
that's a big. I feel like that's a big if.
Yeah, if they find out. So once you're done and you start signing papers. Well, first you'll search around for an agent. A lot of people know what agent they have in mind already. So once I went up to New York, I signed my papers and everything, read over the contract, and that made everything official. But from there, that gives them rights to start basically shopping you around. Once you signed it, they'll literally write. Mine that same day was talking to teams like, I have this kid, he runs this 40. Can you take a closer look at him, look at his film, sending my film out everywhere? So your agent does all the hustling for you. And that's why they can make big bucks.
Yeah.
So
do they also help you at Vayner Sports with aligning you with brands, companies to do like sponsorships, advertisement, all that stuff? And what are some of the ones that you've done so far, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so at Vayner, since it's such a big company, every year we'll receive like going into like last year when I was training, I received one, and this year when I was first got to the Texans, we received like a duffel bag full of stuff. And basically what it is things from different companies. So I had like, I don't know if you've heard of like Dude Wipes. They're Dude Wipes.
By the way, any of these companies listening, we're looking for some sponsors for the podcast as well.
Vayner, if you want to help us.
For sure. So we had like Dude Wipes. We had like some insoles, and different clothing and everything,
They give you a nice discount code for wine library. I don't know if you're into wine or not.
I am into wine, but I don't have one.
You got to get Gary to give you some wine, man.
Yeah, I heard Gary is very big on wine, but basically when they send all that stuff, they tag everybody on this little card and they're like, post it. Once you post it, some of the companies may reach back and like, let's go forward with a sponsorship or something like that. But sadly, I haven't had any chances to do that. Actually, I have Soldier Sports. They sent out some stuff and they make like, athletic clothing. They make like mouthpieces and stuff like that. Nothing big yet, but it's definitely coming.
So how does it? I'm sorry for cutting you. How does that work when you're in the NFL? Because I know sometimes there's like you can't like do certain things when it comes working with brands, or you can't, especially if you're in a certain team, or you got Nike, or you got some of the rules and all. How does that work when you work with the agents who are trying to get you sponsorships, brands? How does that? Is that something they have to talk about, or do you have the freedom, like a non-compete to go out there and actually like work with as many as you want?
I haven't gotten that far.
I think on game days you have to wear whatever the NFL tells you to wear.
Yeah, as far as game days and everything, like I know you can't wear like the super duper crazy cleats on the field during the game. Like a lot of people just do it during like pregame warm up,
like OBJ
and stuff like that. Yeah, like
I know.
for sure.
I'm still waiting for them to let that go so I can see some like Cactus Jacks or Jordan 4s out there. You know,
Exactly.
Come on.
I'm big on the shoes, so I'm into
I just
all
saw
the crazy
some. I
cleats
just
and
saw
stuff like
something
that.
on I think on like Barstool Sports or whatever. It was like the Game Breads, but someone turned them into hockey cleats. I was like, oh, those are so fire. Like,
Yeah,
damn.
that sound hard.
I know,
Yeah, that
right?
sound-
It's so good.
That's crazy. No, it's just it's so for me. It's just like, again, you know, Josh goes back to the business part. Like for me, I love knowing the business part of like how that works when it comes to athletes and brands and sponsorships and how that whole world operates. Because look, I'm gonna tell you, man, like today, the way everything's moving on today, I think it's so important for like athletes to also utilize their, you know, full potential of what they're great at to also build their personal brand up. Because what's after football, right? Like what's after football, you know? And if you look at back in the day, you know, unless you were like an iconic figure like a Jordan or like somebody like that at that level, it was really hard to build your own personal brand, or nobody would help them with it or let them know, hey, this is what you should be doing. You know, sometimes they'll tell them, hey, go invest money on this franchise or on these businesses. I know that was popular back in the day, but you know, now I feel like it's switching. Now you're seeing a lot of these people advising athletes, hey, let's build your personal brand. Let's get you. Let's get it out there.
It's not even just the athletes, though. It's the coaches as well. I know, like when I got into strength and conditioning, it was like, no, you're the strength coach. You come in, you know, you train the athletes, and then you leave. Like that's what you do. If you're the head strength coach for Georgia football, like you're the head strength coach for Georgia football. Yeah. That's what people know you as. By the time I left strength and conditioning 6 years later, they were like, nah, man, you got to be building, like you got to use this as your platform to build your personal brand. Because if Kirby Smart leaves, like your ass is getting fired too 100% of the time. And then what are you going to do?
Well, it's like this guy, who's that coach that I think he's the strength coach that's blown up. The guy that always has the sleeveless shirts or like the huge jacked guy, and he's always like fired up.
I don't
know. You know what I'm talking about?
Is it Oregon? Is it Oregon's coach?
Is it Oregon? I don't know. He's a jack dude. He's always like going crazy with the kids on the sideline, jumping up and down. Fucking wears sleeveless shirts in the game.
That's like 90%.
Does he have the mustache with the little curls on the end?
I think so.
Yeah, he was at Georgia. He was at Georgia for
was he that wild?
Yeah, he is wild.
Bro, I'm telling you, some of the people I've worked with, like this strength, like listen, if you're in the weight room and you're training collegiate football players, I mean like 17 to 23-year-old kids, like you are a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to be.
You are.
I've always heard this guy say, whoa!
Dude, I'm telling you, the most
every second.
The most intense guy I ever worked for, his name's Hal Luther. He's an assistant with the Buffalo Bills now. And this dude, I mean, he has some videos on YouTube of him like squatting for triples, like 655, 700, just like bald head, probably like, you know, probably your height, probably like 5'8", you know.
More than the football players.
Oh, way more. But just like a ball of muscle, like legs the size of my waist, dude. I have like a 30-inch waist. Like his whole with the quad and the hamstring as big as my waist. I was like unbelievable, just a monster. And every time he would even look at me, I would like cower in the corner. I'd be like, all right, I'm out of here. Like I'm not fucking with Hal today. You know?
Yeah, that's how college strength coaches typically are.
Oh, so much fun, man! Some of the best times though were in the weight room with some of these kids. You know, it's like you get to see some kids grow into like real ass men. You know, and do real shit with their life, and that's super cool to be able to experience.
Yeah. How was your college experience? You know, when you were in college at Georgia, you know how was that?
Fucking wild.
No, but it's just like, you know, I hear different
went to the national championship. Probably fucking insane.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, I bet with the whole thing, too, that he was getting hyped up.
We were a trash football team, and it was still crazy at Syracuse.
That's Syracuse.
I know, but bro, Georgia.
It's fun, man. Like, I can honestly say my freshman, my sophomore year, like everything else is out the window. Like we were just like having fun and everything. And then I can say like junior year, it was when it like clicked in my head, like, okay, it's time to tighten up type thing. So
are you glad you had the fun though?
Yeah, I definitely am. I got a lot of fun out that I needed to get out. So
right, what's the funniest thing you did? What's the funniest thing you did in college?
It's all right. It's going on YouTube, so you can say whatever you
want. Let's see.
He's looking for the PG store, and I know.
No, we want the triple. We want the story that's going to go on OnlyFans. That's what we want.
Nah. I'm trying to think. So my senior, like we had this 4-bedroom house. It was me and 2 other athletes and 1 non-athlete. And we played, I believe it was Notre Dame that night. It was a late game, night game. I had a couple friends come up from Atlanta, and we all went out to, me, my girl, my 2 friends, we all went out to IHOP. So we already knew our house was like the party house. But our neighborhood is like one of the newer neighborhoods in Athens. So it was really nice. Not many parties there except for us and everything. I kid you not, downtown Athens closes at 2. We left the house at 1:45. By the time I got home, I could not get into my neighborhood. It's gated community and everything, but the line is literally like to the street. Turns out they planned a party at my house. So I get there. I have nowhere to park. I think the party didn't end till like 4 a.m. It was so crazy.
Damn.
So I mean, that was probably one of the craziest things. No, I couldn't. I had to go like around the corner.
You know what's funny? I was in a fraternity at Syracuse, and actually my boy who played wide receiver at Cuse was actually he was on the scout team for the Texans for a little while, Alec Lemon. And his like whole thing, every time we would finish a game at Cuse, he'd be like, "All right, party at SIU," which was like my fraternity. I'm like, bro, fuck you, bro. You're not inviting the 100 football players to my closed party. Like, if you want to come, you're more. He'd be like, "Go party at SIU tonight."
You're doing some crazy ass shit.
I'm like, bro, come, Alec, you're killing me here, man. Like,
you're not going to clean up.
On the low, like you and a couple of the boys can come, but the whole team, the squad, like I don't think so.
Exactly.
Not bringing the whole wide receiver crew.
It gets rowdy.
Oh,
See, I never had that college experience, so I don't know what to say. But
I mean, everything you could probably think about in the movies, which is which
just like
you know what
movies.
is hilarious is like when I joined my fraternity, I come from like a real small town. I was so naive that I never correlated like what happened in the movies to like what was actually going to happen to me. I never once thought about that. I was just like, oh, all they're going to do is like make us clean up and then they're going to yell at us a little bit. Like this could be fucking easy. I never thought about like Hell Week or like any of the crazy shit that like you see in like Porky's and fucking Animal House. I never thought like, oh, maybe they might do some of that to me. It's like, no. Just like you're going to yell in my face a little bit. I'm going to have to clean the house. Like this is going to be a breeze. And then it all happened. I was like, holy shit. This is what they were talking about. You know?
I had one fraternity I was really close with. I'm not going to put their name out there. But they made their freshman guys, they had a basketball court outside the house. They made their freshmen go out there and play like a full game in like khaki shorts and polo shirts with no ball.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I want to know if
that's so good. That's stuff like I would like to do. I was definitely more like the mental head fuck than people. I'd be like, all right, you got to like wake me up in the morning on Wednesdays and recite me a handwritten poem. They'd be like, what? I'm like, it better be handwritten too. You know, best one I ever got, personification of leaves. It was unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
It was unbelievable.
That's hilarious. So I'm gonna tell you, man, like I know you guys, especially being an athlete, you know, especially in college, they hold you to a certain standard, and I get it. But at the same time, like, how do you guys hold yourself from having all that fun? And obviously you had fun, but like, how do you balance it? Like, or how do you guys like keep yourself where it's like, okay, we gotta know that this is like a time frame in my life here where it's serious, and then like not get consumed with this, but also I gotta enjoy some of it, because if not, I'm never gonna experience this again.
It's all about, I feel like, just trial and tribulation. Like you just kind of learn on your own. Time management, that's a part of life, big part of life. So like I said, with me coming in, I had a lot of fun, but when it's time to like tighten down and do the right things, I had a lot of people in my corner to help me with that. At Georgia, we had a big support system. A lot of tutors, a lot of stuff like that. So just kind of honing down and like really telling myself like life is about to hit you. So, and also learning from people that's been there, whether it be my parents or former athletes or stuff like that. It helped me kind of hone in and focus, like, and tell myself like, if you really want to do this, you have to put the time in, like you're going to get what you put in. Yeah. So I put a lot more time into the field. I put a lot more time in my academics. And I kind of, that's how I got to where I am now. I'm in the league. trying to get with a team right now, but it just hits you at some point. That's how it came for me. So
Totally hear you, man. And I was gonna bring up something else. You know, you mentioned you're a dad, right? Baby girl or baby boy?
I'm sorry, you kind of went out. Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, I was saying that you mentioned you were a dad as well.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, but my phone. Can you try it now?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Okay, we're good.
Perfect.
We're good.
So I was just saying, I know you mentioned you were a dad. So I was wondering if you is a little baby girl or a baby boy?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. So I'm a dad too. How old is she?
She's about to be 10 months this month.
Oh, congrats, man.
Congrats, brother.
My little one,
Thank you.
turned 2 in January. So I'm telling you, man, like
You're looking at my little one right here.
right. I mean, I little one. He has to be controlling me the whole time. So how is that, you know, with the preparation of going into, you know, making yourself better, the best version of you, trying to get back in the league, pro day, getting ready for that, you know, it's time consuming. And I know that, you know, you got to be focused. So how do you create, you know, you said managing your time. How do you create that proper time for you to be able to still have the time needed to spend with your little one, your girl, your family, and then also be focused and understand that, you know, this opportunity is probably the last one if I don't take it this seriously?
Well, I mean, like you said, you're a dad, so you know, like once you have that kid, it might come sooner than later, but eventually it'll come like where a switch kind of click in your head, like, okay, I have to feed this kid. Like I have another human in the world now, so you have to feed her, you have to put clothes in her back. So I feel like that was my motivation going forward into the league, and like that kind of laser focus. Like once she got here, it was kind of like, okay, cool, I have a kid. But I gave it about a month and like things started clicking, like, okay, like formula is expensive. Clothes are expensive. Like
Diapers are expensive.
Yeah, diapers are expensive. So like you got to really hone in and focus on what you're doing. Like if you're going to do this, like you just got to do it with everything. So having that kid, I feel like really helped me focus. It really let me know to tighten up and do everything right. So that's how it came for me.
Love that.
Damn. I mean, Tyler, it's been an absolute pleasure, you know, getting to hear a lot about your story and see your come up and see all the things that you got, you know, going for you and what you're looking forward to. It's been tremendous for me personally to be able to you know, hear it from the man himself and get to know you. You seem like an amazing guy. And, you know, I just wanted to say before we wrap things up, you know, best of luck to you with the pro day. You know, I hope we get signed by a team. When you get signed by a team, you got to let us know. When you get signed by a team, you got to let us know.
For sure.
We're going to be putting that out there, and we're going to be celebrating the hell with you.
Gotcha.
Before we wrap things up and before Mendez, you know, throw some lightning rapid fire questions at you to finish it off, where can people find you on social media, and what's the best way to reach out to you? And you know, let's drop that link one more time for your donation.
On Instagram, I'm Ty.Simmons _ at the end. On Twitter, Ty_Simmons with a 3 at the end. And then as far as the website is TSWO.shop. And for ESP, you can, I don't know the exact link to their website, but you can go search bar.
What's your Shopify account?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's your Shopify link?
Oh, shop is TSWO.shop.
Awesome.
TSW.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and then the ESP, you can just type in Extra Special People Athens, go to their link, and it'll be a donate button in the top right.
Love it. You guys heard it. One more thing, man. We got to get some of those shirts. What is the offside shirts? We got to get some of that.
Yeah, we're going right to the Shopify.
We got to get some of that gear.
Yeah, we're going to buy some for sure.
Woo!
Sure.
I'm excited. All right, time to hit you with some lightning round questions. All right, question number 1. I know you said the funnest experience, but what was your wildest experience that you had
wildest
in your career, in your entire career, college, NFL, whatever it is?
Wildest. Ooh. We had some wild times at Georgia. I would probably say Athens Georgia has this little downtown area called what we just call it downtown, like downtown Athens. I feel like just being down there was like just my wildest thing. Like just being my freshman year, of course, being out there, it was just a while. I don't necessarily have a specific experience, but just being down there during that time was very wild. Everybody was flooding the streets. It's like a real old school downtown, brick buildings, the apartments on top of little shops and everything. So a whole bunch of bars, at least like 20 bars out there. So just being out there was probably my wildest experience.
Love it. I know we mentioned how the offside play was one of the most recognized moments in your career in the sense of a lot of attention coming your way. But what was your biggest play? Your biggest play in your career in college?
I would say probably my touchdown Auburn game. I had the first touchdown my junior year. I kicked it off with it's probably like a 30-yard touchdown catch, corner touchdown. It was pretty cool. So that was probably my best.
We're going to have to look it up now. We're going to have to look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Last and final question. What's the biggest piece of advice you can leave off to all our listeners today in one sentence?
In one sentence. Don't procrastinate later what you can do now.
Boom.
I feel like at Georgia, I procrastinated coming in. Procrastination is like one of my weaknesses. But a lot of stuff you procrastinate, you can literally do in that moment. So why wait?
Love that.
Guys, you heard it from Tyler himself. Don't procrastinate, all right?
Tyler, appreciate you coming on. Make sure you guys go check him out. Make sure you guys get that T-shirt on Shopify so we can help out ESP. It's an amazing organization. And Tyler, we appreciate you coming on one last time. Until next time, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Welcome, my brother.